going live. Oh, and we're live with the Iceman.
How you doing, brother?
I am good, man. How about you?
I'm doing good. And the reunion has been a long time in the making. So really happy to sit down with you here and chat.
That's cool, man. The reunion has been a long time in the making. I'm just getting everything loaded up here. I'm going to share out this link and make sure everybody can see the Iceman on his debut show.
Fantastic.
All right. So I've got that link out. And here we go. I'm going to open up the chat in a separate window so we can monitor that. And yeah, I guess I should probably address the elephant in the room, which is Jean-Marc. I don't really know what's going on with him. It's been 2 weeks of not doing a show. I tried to get a hold of him, and he's not even looking at my messages. They're, when you send a message, you get a receipt as to whether or not they've opened them. He's probably got something going on in his life. I don't, if people want to be here, that's cool. If they don't, that's cool. I'm not mad or, I don't, whatever. If he wants to be here, he's welcome. But the show must go on. And we've got the Iceman. The Iceman cometh. The Iceman cometh. So I guess we should probably talk a little bit about how we know each other.
Okay.
We actually are buddies from when I trained out in Calgary at a little hole in the wall called BJ's Gym. Do you remember that place?
I do. With very fond memories of my short time there. Yeah.
And you were only 15 years old at the time, right?
Yeah. About half a lifetime ago now, I would say.
That's crazy. Yeah. And the Iceman showed up. You were buddies with Teddy Hart. I remember that. And first, I want to circle back, though, and let everybody know about this place, BJ's Gym. So BJ's Gym was a little hole-in-the-wall spot in Calgary that it's kind of a pretty significant spot. It was owned by BJ Annis, who was married to Georgia, who is Bret Hart's sister, right? So that's
right.
Bret Hart's,
and she made the best cookies in the world, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. They were wonderful people. Then their house was in the gym, and it was like this cool spot. If you watch, you've probably seen Dark Side of the Ring and all these documentaries, the A&E documentaries. They've always got like somebody in a BJ's Gym shirt or a BJ's Gym poster or something. So it's pretty cool. And I remember my first time there. I don't know about you. You grew up in Calgary. It might've been different for you, but I traveled all the way from Ontario to get there. And it was this hole in the wall gym in the bad part of town. And you get in there and it's the same weights that the Dynamite Kid and Owen Hart were using to build their body. And you look up on the board and there's this like bench press record with various names. And at the very top is D. Smith, Davey Boy Smith. And then in the back corner, there's this wrestling ring that's down on the ground. And if you look, there's all these holes in the wall and whatever. And the one thing that was cool was there was like the toe. I remember it always stuck out as there's the toe of a foot imprinted in the ceiling, in the roof. And
going like low ceiling.
Yeah, in the ceiling.
Very low ceiling, I remember.
Yeah, and
for a guy that can't barely jump, a 4-inch vertical, it was pretty low even for me.
That's true. That is true. But you see this toe in the, there's all these there were holes in the roof, but there's the toe, and you go, what? How's there a toe? Like obviously somebody hit their head coming off the top rope, whatever. There's a fucking toe print in it. And somebody answered, yeah, that was from when Teddy Hart was learning to do shooting star presses. The toe of his foot got caught in the ceiling on that attempt. And then there's Davey Boy Smith's bench press record. It was just a really cool spot. What did you think the first time you were there?
Well, it was really interesting for me. So I remember the first time I got a ride down there, and I don't know how rough it was. At least I didn't until I got a little bit older, like a little bit more into it, because I used to actually travel down there by myself, which if you know, it was down in East Village in Calgary. And if you know anything about East Village in Calgary, it's gone through a big metamorphosis now, right? But back then it was really run down. The city kind of abandoned that area, right, in a lot of ways. And so but the one tradition, the one, strong thing there was BJ's gym that lasted through all that stuff. And for me anyways, I always remember like walking in and there was a football game on the TV as you walk in, and you can hear guys working in the ring upstairs, because the ring and all the weights and all that, there's a ton of them on the main level. The locker rooms are downstairs, and then upstairs was all the ring and everything else. And I just remember walking in there and hearing guys hit the mat and the studs and going, wow, this is really cool. Like it looked gritty. It looked old school. It looked like everything I thought wrestling would be kind of about, training to be a wrestler and training to lift weights. And so, I mean, I was kind of mesmerized from the minute I walked in there, put it that way.
That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, because the first time I went down to change, Harry Smith was down there, Davey's son. And I was just kind of like, wow, this guy is big, man. Like, you don't realize how big Harry is till you get right by him.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
That was another thing that, like, coming all the way out from Ontario, I had a bit of a strange encounter. Like, I had met TJ on the internet, and I had befriended TJ and Harry on the internet. They kind of talk to weirdos like me all the time on the internet. And I was asking about how I could become a wrestler, and they're like, well, BJ's gym in Calgary. So I saved up some money and I got out there. And I remember on my flight there kind of thinking, I don't think I knew the word catfishing at the time, but I was like, there's a good chance I'm going to show up at this BJ's gym and it's not going to be the British Bulldog's son and this TJ Wilson guy who's destined for greatness and whatever. And sure enough, I show up and there's like Teddy Hart, and there's like the British Bulldog's son, and there's Natty Neidhart. It's like the second coming of these superheroes that you grew up watching, Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart and British Bulldog, and there's like the second coming, and you kind of get like, they're cool, they're friendly, they're great people, but there is a little bit of a surreal, like, these people are like, you're watching greatness in the making right now. For the first little while, at least it felt like that for me. I don't know about you.
Well, I guess for me, it was a little different because I had the Teddy Hart Supercell special. So
that's right. Because you were brought in at 15 years old. Teddy Hart brought you into pro wrestling. How was that
Teddy
like?
Hart.
What's that?
The infamous Teddy Hart.
Teddy Hart. He had taken you under his wing. Tell me about that. I am so curious. What was it like chilling? Because that was the thing, is we all kind of were buddies and we all ribbed each other and whatever. Yeah. But you were brought in by Teddy Hart, and it was always like, that guy's Ted's buddy. What was that like? And
I felt a little bit of that difference there, and I did. And I think maybe at the time I thought it was maybe a little bit of a disconnect a little bit, right? Because, it was like, oh, I'm Teddy's guy, right? Teddy's guy. But it's funny how it all started. I was kind of in the same boat as you, right? I wanted to get into professional wrestling, and I was looking at Stampede Wrestling. And my Uncle Sean grew up watching Stampede Wrestling, right? I mean, he used to go down to the pavilion, back in the 70s, 80s, right? And he was just diehard. And so, I got wind at 15 that there was Stampede Wrestling, and I was looking at the profiles and all that. And it just so happened, by seeing all that and becoming a fan of the guys, I was actually going to buy tickets to a Flames game at the Co-op in Calgary. And I don't know if you remember this or not, but the Co-op, and they still do it today, you can actually buy like pretty decent price tickets to go watch hockey. And as luck would have it, that's how I met Teddy Hart. And, I saw him and I said, you know what? I mean, this is kind of maybe how I've always been. But I'm like, I just walked right up to him and go, "You're Teddy Hart." And he goes, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know you from Stampede Wrestling." And kind of the rest is history, right? I think he appreciated I had the balls to actually come up to him and talk to him, and wasn't kind of like, "Oh, this guy is," but I wanted to get to know him. So it was really cool. That's how it all kind of started.
That's the complete opposite of me. I was afraid. Like, I don't think I was afraid, but I was nervous. I didn't go up to Teddy, and you just went right up to him and said hi. And I, on the other hand, I always was a little bit nervous of Teddy. But
I was a carefree 15-year-old. I didn't know that. You know what I mean? I was just happy to run into the guy, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
But it was a wild ride after that. I tell you that much.
Okay, so what kind of stuff did you get into after you befriended Teddy Hart?
Well, I mean, I used to drive around with them all the time. I mean, it's a big reason. Like, I have a Cadillac today, but Teddy Hart used to roll around in this It was a 2004, 2005 Cadillac CTS, that really wicked cool looking car with big rims. And, he was the man, right? He always played himself off as the man. He had the persona, he had the energy and all that. And so, obviously I wanted to be that guy one day. And so I wanted to hang out with him lots. And I used to roll around with him and we talk about stuff. And, actually, for all the heat that Teddy Hart gets, he gave me a lot of sound advice, about being a young guy. And I think maybe he thought I was more of a ballsy kind of guy like him in some ways, but he always kind of put me on the right path, and gave me advice, and with regards to a lot of things and doing the right thing. But he, we used to roll around in his Cadillac and man, I'll tell you, dude, like we'd be going, he'd be working me too a bit. And, we'd I'd go with him to like Best Buy, like stuff like that, which was nothing. Right. And he'd be like, oh, well, I need to get a printer to print autographs or print photos with autographs for my fans. That was cool. And then there was the other side of it where I'd be rolling around with him and we'd be going around to like literally like Haitian, like houses over in East Village area that's just full of like Haitians, Jamaicans and stuff. Like you don't walk in there unless you know somebody, because you're going to be in a lot of trouble, like that type of atmosphere, right? Without saying too much. And, I'll never forget, there's maybe I knew Teddy for about 2 months and he had to go pick something up there and whatever else. And, so we go there and I walk in and
Haitian people who would only let you in if you're
the house is actually still there. It's the only house I live right by it. And it's actually the only house still there in East Village that's standing. And you go in and these Haitian gentlemen, like I walked in with him and you wouldn't believe the eyeballs on me. Who the F is this kid, right?
Oh, wow. And you're like 15 at the time too.
Yeah.
So this is like
I used to roll around with him for everything all the time, right? And so he goes, no, he's my protege. He's my protege. And he told me he's picking up some roots, some drinks, some roots. But I don't know if that was maybe the case. That's for another discussion for another day.
That's none of our business what he was picking up, but
but to take me in there at 15 and to feel that, like, I'm no stranger to like, taking on attention, obviously, but like I could feel that at 15, like these guys did not want me in there, like stuff like that. We had another time too, really funny, right? Teddy was always about ladies, right? Obviously, right? He's Teddy Hart. And we went to pick up this chick and her little sister one time up in, it was off a boat trail. I can't, Market Mall, I think it is, but it's off a boat trail in kind of 30, just west of 37th Street in Calgary. And there's a mall there. And I'll never forget this because in my mind to this day, it kind of puzzles me. But when we went to pick them up and we went to go have dinner and all this stuff, it was really cool. But like when we got out, I thought I'm 15. And I think the little sister was probably 17, 18. I think it was a little bit younger than what was, I was expecting, which was great because it's, I feel like a rock star, right?
Yeah.
But I'll never forget, he told the girls, get in the back seat. And I was expecting to go sit in the back seat. And it was just like, he always played off this like rock star thing. Like, you're my protege. You're going to go wherever I go. And I've seen a lot more stuff that maybe we don't need to get into right now on this. Maybe down the road we can revisit, but those are two of the big.
I'm curious. What are these? I don't know. If you don't want to get into it, I'm not going to pry. But
we can get into some of it. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, don't say anything that's going to get anybody into trouble or anything. But if there's any cool stories you can tell about it, that'd be great. Like, but that's pretty cool that even though he's kind of showing you around town, he's picking up these people, he's got these girls or whatever. He's like, you guys sit in the back. This is my protege. He's up with me.
Yeah, and he was. And there is some other stuff. And as I say, like maybe we get into that in another day, a little teaser for the next episode of this, because I think I got to really, really think about some of these things that we're talking about here in terms of that. But as I say, I've seen some pretty crazy stuff and seen some things in the underbelly of the world and the life with which he was given. That is definitely something else, right? So
your dog is attacking somebody.
My dog's barking in the background. My apologies. Sorry, the solid dog, but he'll settle down in a second, I think.
I got a funny story about Teddy Hart actually that relates to a dog. Now that you jogged my memory.
Oh, fantastic!
So I'm hanging out at BJ's gym, and Ted comes up and he's, hey man, do you want to do me a favor? And I go, fucking Teddy Hart's asking me for a favor. Absolutely, whatever you want. He's like, come with me. I got to move a mattress. I'm like, okay, cool. And I guess he had these big dogs. I don't remember what kind of dogs they were, but I remember he had these big dogs and they were scary, and they'd bark at you and they'd just stare at you sometimes and whatever. Yeah. So he wanted me to help him move a mattress. I'm like, great, I'd love to help out. And I go around a corner, or I don't remember what it was, but he's like, yeah, just go down there and I'll pass you out the mattress. And he goes to pass me out a mattress, and next thing I know is I'm in that backyard that was completely fenced in, and there's like 3 or 4 of those dogs that are just staring at me. And I'm like, I guess it was like a good drop down, so I can't even really get back in without somebody's help. And I'm like, oh no. And then I'm starting to put, the dogs are nice. They were wonderful dogs, but I guess I guess he saw me kind of being a little bit scared of them at first, and he kind of devised a plan to make me end up in that backyard fenced in with these 3 dogs. And then next thing I know, I'm there and I'm like, uh-oh, what's going to happen here? And they were cool. It was fun, but it was just a funny kind of thing that I think he, looking back, I'm like, was he fucking trying to rip me there? Oh no, the Iceman is gone. Jason, Iceman. Jason, Iceman. Dude. Your internet is, looks like we're having some technical difficulties. Oh, it looks like I'm here by myself. And let's see what's going on the YouTube channel. I'm just trying to see what the Iceman is saying here. Oh, I've got a couple messages here. Nothing from the Iceman, though. Just trying to look to see. Well, if the Iceman doesn't come back, I think I'm going to have to end the stream. Try and get a hold of him. Maybe we'll start this up. Give me a second. All right, well, I'm going to end the stream, and if I can get a hold of the Iceman, we will continue. See you later for part 2. If not, I guess that'll be a teaser for what's to come. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe.